The Southport massacre shook the nation, a brutal attack on innocent children, carried out with chilling precision. The details were horrifying, the evidence undeniable. Yet now, a shocking new twist has emerged that changes everything. The government's response to Axel Rudakubana's killing spree has left people outraged, with accusations of cover-ups, careful rewording, and a desperate refusal to face the truth. Instead of confronting what really happened, officials are bending over backwards to fit this massacre into a new, more convenient narrative. With public anger growing and calls for justice mounting, this latest revelation is set to spark even more fury. What the government just admitted will leave you speechless. Before we get into the details, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. Just a quick one to say we have new Liber t-shirts available on our website. You can check the link in the description or go to BritishStand.com. The government has officially ruled that Axel Rudakubana should not be classified as a terrorist, despite the fact that he slaughtered 3 children, attempted to murder 10 others, and had a house filled with extremist materials. The decision, made in a review commissioned by Home Secretary Yvette Cooper, has sparked outrage, with critics accusing officials of going to extreme lengths to avoid uncomfortable truths. Jonathan Hall KC, the UK's independent reviewer of terrorism legislation, concluded that while Rudakubana meticulously planned his horrific attack, he did not have a clear ideological motivation, so the government insists this was not terrorism. Instead, Hall has recommended creating a brand new offence to cover cases like this, so-called non-terrorist mass casualty attack planning. This would carry a life sentence but wouldn't be considered terrorism under the law. Why? Because expanding the definition of terrorism, he argues, could lead to false positives and risk prosecuting people who aren't really terrorists. So let's get this straight. A man stabs 3 little girls to death at a Taylor Swift themed class. He keeps terrorist materials at home, including an Al-Qaeda manual. He experiments with deadly poisons like ricin. He's obsessed with Adolf Hitler, Genghis Khan, the Rwandan genocide, and school massacres. But calling him a terrorist would be going too far. In a chilling statement after the massacre, Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer warned that Britain faces a new threat from extreme violence carried out by loners, misfits, young men in their bedrooms. See what's happening here? The language is being carefully shaped. Instead of acknowledging that this was a targeted act of ideological mass murder, the narrative is shifting towards a lone wolf problem separate from terrorism altogether. The problem: if we refuse to call terrorism what it is, how can we fight it? Let's be blunt. The government is terrified of acknowledging the full extent of Rudakubana's motivations because that would mean admitting there are flaws in the system. Rudakubana was referred to the government's Prevent Counter-Terrorism program, but wasn't taken on because he didn't fit a clear ideological mold. That loophole allowed him to slip through the cracks, and 3 children paid for it with their lives. Instead of admitting failure, the government is rewriting the rulebook, so they never have to call this terrorism in the first place. Meanwhile, Hall's review has also warned that police need to take a stronger role in managing people like Rudakubana, rather than passing them off to mental health services. But will anything actually change? As anger spreads across the country, Downing Street is more concerned about controlling the narrative than addressing the failures that led to this massacre. Government officials are now investigating how misinformation spread online, leading to riots across England and Northern Ireland. The priority, not justice for the victims, but policing what people are saying about the case. The truth is clear: Axel Rudakubana carried out an act of pure terror, but instead of holding him and the system that let him slip through accountable, the government is rewriting the law to avoid calling it what it is. Are you buying their excuses? Let us know what you think in the comments. In other news, Reform UK MP Lee Anderson has launched a scathing attack on Britain, allowing third world culture and behaviour, following the latest statistics on foreign nationals committing sex crimes. Afghans were 22.3 times more likely than British citizens to be convicted of sex crimes, with a rate of 59 per 10,000 population. Eritreans followed Afghans with a rate of 53.6 per 10,000, making them over 20 times more likely than Britons to be convicted of such hitting out at the latest figures. Lee Anderson took to social media in a scathing rant to his followers, claiming that the Labour government is allowing a third world culture into the country on a daily basis. Lee fumed, "1 in 4 sexual crimes in this country is committed by immigrants. Now, what we're doing actually in this country, we're allowing a third world culture to come in across the channel on a daily basis." Highlighting the impact of Britain's surging migrant crisis on the latest sex crime stats, he added, "And if you import a third world culture, you'll get third world behavior. A lot of these young men that's coming over have got no respect for our women at all." Offering a solution to Britain's surging problem, the Reform UK MP called on the government to arrest, detain and deport foreign criminals. He stated, "The solution is simple: arrest, detain and deport." In comparison to foreign nationals, the data concluded that British citizens had a conviction rate of just 2.66 per 10,000. Shadow Home Secretary Chris Philp has condemned the latest statistics, branding them shocking. A government spokesman said they were committed to delivering justice for victims and safer streets for our communities. The spokesman confirmed plans to introduce tougher restrictions for foreign criminals awaiting deportation, which includes electronic tags, nighttime curfews, and exclusion zones. Any foreign nationals who commit heinous crimes should be in no doubt we will do everything to remove them, the spokesman added. Great Yarmouth MP Rupert Lowe has refused to rule out establishing a new political party or even joining the Tories as Reform's civil war rages on. Following the fallout with Nigel Farage, the recently suspended MP has pondered his political future, mentioning that he was a Conservative years ago. His Conservative contemplations come in the wake of a Metropolitan Police investigation into Lowe, after the politician became laden with allegations of making verbal threats against the Populist Party's chairman, Zia Yusuf. Lowe, 67, was reported to Scotland Yard by Reform UK on March 6th, regarding an incident from December last year. Scotland Yard confirmed that the investigation would address a series of alleged threats made between December 2024 and February 2025. On the matter of joining a new political party or Badenoch's party, Lowe told Sky News, "This has all happened over a few days. I have been focused on debunking these false and damaging allegations. Who knows what will happen? I'm keeping my options open." Lowe mentioned that he was previously a Tory years ago, but asserted that the party has got a lot of work to do. "I think there's some extremely good Tory MPs. I get on with a lot of them," he added. On the matter of inviting the 67-year-old into the party, Shadow Home Secretary Chris Philp said, "He hasn't applied, but obviously we're a broad and welcoming political party. People have been joining the Conservatives from across the political spectrum, and we always welcome new joiners." Tory high flyer Andrew Griffith has said he would welcome anyone into the Conservative Party who wants to remove the current socialist government. When asked about suspended Reform UK MP Rupert Lowe, who is being urged by fellow ex-Reform UK bigwig Ben Habib to set up a rival party to challenge Farage, regularly voices his thoughts on the situation on social media. Responding to the latest update from Scotland Yard, Lowe said, "I have instructed lawyers to represent me in this matter. My lawyers have made contact with the Metropolitan Police and have made them aware of my willingness to cooperate in any necessary investigation. My lawyers have not yet received any contact from the police. It is highly unusual for the police to disclose anything to the media at this stage of an investigation. I remain unaware of the specific allegations, but in any event, I deny any wrongdoing. The allegations are entirely untrue." What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.